What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Lucid Daily. And today we do have a couple of things that we do need to go over. So let's go ahead and get started. So, very first thing, let's go ahead and talk about what we saw in terms of the stock market today. Lucid was up actually 2.3% today, making up a little bit of its losses from yesterday. On the week, over the last 5 days, they are actually up 15%. They have been part of this EV rally, which has actually been pretty nice. Over the last month, they are actually up 1.8%, which is a lot better than what a lot of other companies are doing. So that is relatively positive. And it does make me think, as we look down here at this bottom, what I presume will probably be the bottom for Lucid. I'm at $13.86 a share. We saw that on May 11th. Obviously, that's not a guarantee, and we'll watch that closely. But that 1386, I'm trying to find the last time we saw that. 1386. Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen a price that low, since it pretty much SPAC'd, since everything happened with the merger. So that was, I don't know. Yeah, that's one of the lowest points that we've seen Lucid. So that definitely may be a spot that you may want to watch if you're looking for a good opportunity and a good time to buy Lucid. Maybe pay attention to that $13 mark or right around there. I just think it's an interesting spot to take a look at. All right, let's go ahead and compare it to what they did against Tesla today. Tesla was up 4% today. They had a really good run throughout the day. They were up 8% at one point during the day, which is actually was really cool to watch. And they are up 1% in the after hours. There is a lot of rumors tomorrow going on about whether the split will be announced. So I would love it for it to be a 20-for-1 split. I think that would be it'd be pretty crazy to see that happen. And again, we all know how stock splits work. That won't change the value of the company at all. It's just like if you have one pizza, it's the same pizza, it's just 20 slices instead of 5. But you can get more slices for cheaper if you want. But it's the same overall price. But historically, you do see historical run-ups when it does come to stock splits. Over the last 5 days, Tesla's up 17%. Over the last month, they're down 14%, whereas the last month, Lucid's actually up 1%. So interesting there. Let's go ahead and compare that to the SPY. And with the SPY, you saw that up 1.9% as well today. So overall, you saw the market had a relatively green day today. Last 5 days, the SPY has been holding strong, almost 5%. Whoops, did not mean to click that. And over the last month, it is up 0.25%. Like we saw, Lucid's up 1%, and Tesla's down about 14%, I think, which is actually, it's a pretty interesting disparagement that you can see between Tesla and Lucid. Tesla being down 14% on the month and Lucid being down 1%. But over the last 6 months, you do know that you can see that Lucid has had a steeper drop off. Cool. So that was pretty much the stock market news today. Now let's go ahead and jump into a couple of things. There was this article done by Investors Observer. Now I've never heard of this statistic, and it was I just thought it was something that we should talk about. It says Lucid is near the top of its industry group according to Investors Observer. Lucid gets an overall rating of 63. That means it scores higher than 63% of stocks. Lucid Group Incorporation. It's a 97 rank in the automotive manufacturers industry. Automotive manufacturing is number 131 out of 148. So they don't really explain these ratings. Finding the best stocks can be tricky. It isn't easy to compare companies across industries. Even companies that have relatively smaller businesses can be tricky to compare sometimes. And they use this. They didn't really give a full reason. I remember I read it once. So there you can kind of just see how Lucid ranks in terms of manufacturing. I thought it was an interesting article. And you do hear a lot of people talking about Lucid's manufacturing, especially with their recalls. And that goes into this next part of what I want to talk about. Lucid Insider actually posted this, and I thought this was relatively interesting. So let's go from the bottom actually, and just you can kind of see like a mini time lapse. I remember we used to cover Lucid's like deliveries day by day, like when they had like their first cars rolling out. So you can see April 4th, they had that bottom lot pretty full. They had them pretty full right there. And they started to get more and more full. And they started filling in this lot right here. And this is April 20th. And then you can start to see more cars line up. And you still see a lot of these same cars staying here, or what we presume to be the same cars. Not a ton of trucks that we saw during Bears Workshop's videos. And this is May 2nd. You're starting to see more cars right here in this corner. And then very little cars here May 5th. And then all of a sudden you start to see a ton more cars come out. May 9th, you see a lot more there. May 11th, you see that here. You start to see a lot down here. I wonder if these are like extra, if like this is an extra quality control just with everything that's been happening. that would be super interesting to see. These are just some of the answers that I don't know if we'll ever get some of the questions that I don't know if we'll ever get the answers to. And then May 16th, you can see that, again, these were done by Bear's Workshop. He does a fantastic job. And he did do a review of a Lucid Grand Touring. We've seen a lot of reviews, so you can definitely go check it out. I encourage you guys to check it out if you want to. There wasn't too much more that we learned out of normal, but nonetheless, great video. And if you want to watch it, go support them over there. You start to see all the cars down here either gone or they've moved, which is hard to tell. I wonder if they took off like the wrapping. It looks like that because like this is a fair amount of cars. And if you go from May 5th to May 11th, you see a lot of, I bet you that's what happened. Because with the pace that things have gone, I don't know if they would have gotten rid of all of these. I think they moved them. I think they took the wrapping off and moved them over here, which is interesting. And then you start to see a lot more being piled over here. So I wonder what was going on here. I wonder if they came out of here and had got test rides and stuff before. I don't know, but this looks like where they're storing them now. And then this is May 18th. You're starting to see a ton down here. So I wonder why they were or are not using this bottom lot anymore. Maybe these were quality. I don't know. So then you start to see them stacked over here. And here you can start to see some different colors like black and a few more of those. And then you see some silvers. And then this is May 23rd. So we're starting to get more recent. You're starting to see the parking lot get really full. But the unfortunate thing is we're just not seeing a lot of cars leave. I mean, unless they're really just like one for one, like 10 cars come out of the factory, 10 cars get shipped like on a daily. These cars are just kind of staying like stagnant. There's not, which is kind of frustrating. But you do see a lot of these wrapped now. This is May 25th, and then we're going to jump to June 1st. So the cars that we have seen moving, what looks like is this lot. So you can probably count them here. I don't think we gain too much information by counting them. But right here where you see my cursor, I'll zoom in. You can see a lot of these cars are now gone. So I don't know hopefully they're being shipped, but I don't know why we aren't shipping these cars. And we see very little semis here. Now I don't know when they ship, and it's not necessarily important as to the day or the time. But the fact that we're seeing a lot of cars here that aren't being cycled through is really interesting. So that's pretty much, I would love to get some answers, but these are just some of the logistical things. Like I said, I just don't know if we'll get the answers to ever, but that's all right, because hopefully we'll get some good news here on the earnings. I'm convinced that Q2 hopefully is going to be an inflection point, like the bottom. Like I still think we have a little bit more pain to go. And this isn't just Lucid. I mean, even Tesla's going to have a difficult Q2 report. Most companies will have a difficult Q2 report. I talked about it in my video a little bit yesterday. Hopefully after Q2 going to Q3, that can be the bottom. I could be totally wrong, and we're going to have to read and watch those Q2 earnings like a hawk. We're going to have to watch them like crazy. So let me know what you guys think about the cars, the shipping, the production. I'd love to get you guys' input. Leave some questions down in the comments. Let's talk. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. Like always, watch you next time. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching.